I'm JJ Voss. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, which is Western Canada. I grew up north of a small town named Cupar. Grew up on a small farm. My folks were mixed farmers, cattle, and a lot of the land was pasture land and whatever they could break up and make arable for farming they used. We worked pretty hard as kids. It wasn't extravagant, but it was a great way to grow up. Music was a big part of my childhood. On my mom's side of the family, they're very musical, and my mom has a couple of cousins. They did like to drink too, so a party would show up out of the blue out at the farm on any given night, and the fiddles were out and the guitars were out at a young age. That's some of the earliest memories I have, and it was just captivating. Right from that moment on, the hook was set. It would have been around '86. There was an exciting new movement out in country music at the time, and an artist by the name of Steve Earle had an album that came out called Guitar Town. And it was at that moment that the world stopped turning for me. I mean, he sang songs about the underdog, about, disenfranchised people that were scraping to get by, and it really struck a chord with me. Well, good morning. We're at Omni Studios. It's October the 24th. We recorded at Omni Studio in Nashville, which, again, growing up, when I look at my old records, I'd page through and I used to memorize the inside of the jackets on all of these. I didn't learn anything in high school. I didn't remember any of that. I remembered all this information. And we recorded at Omni Studio, which I knew well just from reading about it, and recorded to 2-inch tape, which made my knees knock because it's very, very tough. You don't get a lot of takes. This recording session in its entirety is a dream come true. Steve Earle was my hero, and Harry Stinson moved back from Los Angeles to become Steve Earle's band leader in the making of Guitar Town. I had the luck of running into Harry Stinson at a festival. He was there playing with Marty Stewart and the Fabulous Superlatives, and just got chatting with him, and I asked him would he consider taking me on as a project, and to be working with him right now is like, I can't put it into words. On the night I hit the wall. I got a song called The Night I Hit the Wall, which I wrote with Clayton Bellamy of the Roadhammers and Mike Plume. And that song just blows my mind. I don't even really know what it's about. The way it came together was surreal. It was just kind of line after line came out. For most of it, I was a secretary during that songwriting session, but I had the hook, and I had the song title, and I had the idea, and it was amazing. And she had eyes of ketamine. The gist of it is kind of about going on a bit of a tear, getting into a bit of a binge, and messing up, but kind of going back to it over the years and looking back at that night or that experience is something that was kind of cool. Troubled mind, it feels like it's time for a change. I was always yapping about, I want to change the world. I want to write a song that, change the world. Pretty idealistic. So we sat down and got into that topic I wrote that one with Mike Plume as well. We were having a coffee discussing this concept and the idea, and it was, well, maybe you don't have to worry about changing the world, but how worry about your own backyard. And basically the analogy is, if everybody cleans up their own backyard, you live in a beautiful neighborhood. It's basically about personal responsibility and making the world a better place. Let go of the hatred, let go of the pain. I see a storm. Turning dirt all day on a worn-out plow, making the bills by the sweat of his brow, but he sleeps real good when he lays down at night. It's a pride thing. Started out, I had the song title and I had a rough idea about what I wanted to. I had a couple of lines. I had a line jotted out, his hands are dirty but the money's clean. The theme of it is basically about, not necessarily doing something glamorous for a living or wanting to, but being really happy with where you're at and just wanting to make an honest living. and that relates back to my family and how we grew up. The first verse is basically set kind of about my dad. The next verse, we shifted gears to a lady working a checkout counter, waitressing. It's not glamorous, but she's paying the bills. And then the last verse about a mine worker, somebody who just, you know, but he's got himself a little family, and at the end of the day, he washes his hands of it, and he just goes home and he's happy. For somebody like me who's a star chaser, as I get older, I realize that there's a lot of value to that. Well, there's a personal connection to me on every song. I just don't want to create songs for the sake of creating songs. I want them to be connected to me or important to me or about me.
Working 14 years down a nickel mine wasn't exactly what he had in mind, but when the shift is done, he leaves it all behind. He's got a beautiful girl and a couple of kids. He's their world and they're his, and it ain't a little thing when you've got peace of mind. Well, this ain't no story about chasing dreams. It ain't about reaching for the big brown